In the frozen heart of the Ural Mountains, where the wind carves through stone and the earth sleeps beneath meters of snow, there lies a place people still fear to speak of. A place known today as Dyatlov Pass. A peaceful name, attached to a horror that has never been explained. On a bitter winter night in 1959, 9 experienced hikers, young, strong, and skilled, stepped into the mountains for what should have been the adventure of a lifetime. Instead, they walked into a mystery so dark, so impossible, that it still echoes across decades at a torn tent. Bare footprints in deep snow, bodies scattered across a mountainside, broken bones, missing eyes, missing tongue, radiation on clothing, and no signs of struggle. No signs of another human being. No explanation. This is the unsolved mystery of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The story begins at the Ural Polytechnic Institute in Sverdlovsk. 9 hikers, all highly trained, prepared for a challenging expedition. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, a disciplined, confident, brilliant young man whose name the mountain would later steal. The group included Igor Dyatlov, the respected leader; Zina Kolmogorova, energetic, warm, deeply loved by the group; Ludmila Dubinina, strong-willed, determined, a fighter; Rustam Slobodin, athlete, experienced, resilient; Yuri Doroshenko, fearless, often reckless in the cold; Yuri Krivonischenko, cheerful, clever, a joker of the group; Nikolai Thibault, Brignol's quiet, intelligent, reliable; Alexander Kolevatov, technical-minded, methodical, disciplined; Semyon Zolotaryov, the oldest and the most mysterious, a war veteran who joined at the last minute. Together, they were a team capable of surviving almost anything nature threw at them. Almost on January 23, 1959, they boarded a train heading north toward the Urals. Laughter, music, jokes, photographs, a sense of adventure. The world was peaceful to them. The future seemed bright. None of them knew they were walking into history, not through victory, but tragedy. The local Monsey people had a name for the peak the hikers approached. They called it Kholat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead. According to legend, 9 Monsey hunters once died there in an unexplained storm. The correlation is eerie, but perhaps only coincidence. The hikers did not fear legends. They trusted their skills more than superstition. On February 1st, the group set up their tent high on the slope of Kholat Syakhl. The wind was merciless. Snow whipped across the ridge like shards of glass. Yet they pitched their tent anyway, not in the forest below where they would have been sheltered, but on the exposed slope. Why? Some believe Dyatlov wanted to practice tent pitching on open terrain to prepare for harsher expeditions. Others claim they lost daylight and settled for the first suitable spot. Whatever the reason, that decision sealed their fate. The diary entries from that night end optimistically. The last photograph shows the hikers smiling, unaware that they were capturing their final moments. By morning, everything would be silent. Weeks passed with no word from the hikers. Families waited. Days turned into worry. Worry turned into fear. Finally, a search team was sent into the mountains. On February 26th, rescuers found the tent. What they saw made their blood run cold. The tent was slashed open from the inside, long, desperate cuts, blades slicing outward as if someone inside was trying to escape. Snow had partially buried it. All the hikers' boots, jackets, backpacks, and equipment were still inside. It was as if 9 people had run into the freezing night half naked. Willingly, rescuers followed the footprints. Bare feet, socks, one person wearing a single boot, all heading downslope toward a forest. No sign of struggle. No drag marks. Just footprints, fading into blank white. At the edge of the forest, beneath a tall cedar tree, the first 2 bodies were found. Doroshenko and Krivonischenko. They were half-dressed, lying in the snow beside remains of a small fire. The branches above them were broken as high as 4 meters, as if someone had climbed frantically to escape something, or to see something. Their hands were torn, flesh embedded under their nails, evidence of desperation. Near them, 3 more bodies were discovered: Dyatlov, Kalmogorova, and Slobodin, positioned as if they had tried to crawl back toward the tent. Their poses were strange, reaching, stretching, almost frozen mid-motion. The last 4 bodies were found 2 months later, buried deeper in the ravine under meters of snow. And these 4 told a far darker story. When the snow melted enough, rescuers uncovered the remaining hikers. What they found did not match any known natural tragedy. Ludmila Dubinina was missing her eyes, and her tongue. Zolotaryov's skull was fractured wide open. Catastrophic damage comparable to a car crash. The Bobrignols had a massive head wound. A piece of skull missing. Kolevatov's neck showed signs of strange deformation. Yet, there were no external wounds.
No bruises, no lacerations, no torn clothing.
The crushing force that destroyed their bones came from inside, without breaking skin. The medical examiner wrote that the injuries required tremendous pressure, something beyond human strength. Even stranger, several pieces of their clothing contained traces of radiation. Why would ordinary hikers have radioactive clothing? Why did some of them die of hypothermia, while others suffered trauma so extreme it defied explanation? Why did they leave the tent nearly naked in temperatures that could kill within minutes? And what could make 9 trained mountaineers flee into the dark simultaneously? These questions haunt the incident to this day. Let's slow down. Reconstruct the night. Somewhere between 9 p.m. and midnight, something caused the hikers to cut open their tent from the inside. Not unzip. Cut. Something made them run into a blizzard without clothes, boots, or gear, fully aware that doing so was suicide. Some tried to survive by the cedar tree. Others died trying to return. The last 4, the ones in the ravine, may have fallen into a hidden snow den. But the severity of their injuries suggests something more violent. The official investigation concluded only this: a compelling natural force. No details. No explanation. No closure. The mountain swallowed the truth. There are more theories about Dyatlov Pass than almost any other unsolved case. Some rational, some terrifying. None fully explain everything. Let's walk through them, one by one. As the temperature drops and the night closes in Theory 1. Avalanche. The most widely accepted modern explanation is a slab avalanche, a sudden collapse of a snow layer. Could explain why they cut the tent and fled. They feared more snow sliding down. But there was no sign of a major avalanche at the site. The incline was too shallow. The tent was still standing, and avalanches do not crush people while leaving no external injuries. Something doesn't fit. Theory 2. Infrasound terror. One hypothesis blames the wind, specifically a rare atmospheric phenomenon called the Kármán vortex street. On certain slopes, wind can create low-frequency infrasound, a vibration humans cannot consciously hear but can deeply feel. Exposure can cause panic, nausea, hallucinations, a sense of dread. Could infrasound have driven the hikers into irrational fear? Could terror alone explain why trained mountaineers fled barefoot into death? Maybe, but it fails to explain the crushed bones, the missing eyes, the missing tongue, and the radiation. Theory 3. Secret military tests. Some claim the area was used for missile testing. Strange lights were reported in the sky that night, bright orange orbs floating above the mountains. Could the hikers have witnessed something they weren't supposed to see? Were they caught in the shockwave of a weapon test? This might explain the trauma, the internal pressure, the force with no external injury. But there is no proof, and the Soviet Union denied everything. Even so, old reports mention soldiers being sent to recover sensitive materials. Something doesn't add up. Theory 4. Parachute mines. A variation of the military theory suggests the hikers heard or saw descending mines, causing them to flee in panic. The concussion from a mine could cause internal injuries similar to a car crash. But why were only some of them injured this way? And why were their bodies found in such deliberate positions? This theory answers some questions, but raises others. Theory 5, the Yeti or creature theory. This is the most sensational, but also the least grounded in evidence. Some believe a large creature attacked the group. But there were no tracks, no claw marks, no signs of a struggle. The only thing fueling this theory is fear, and a cryptic photograph found in the hiker's camera showing a blurry figure in the snow. A coincidence? A prank? Or something they saw that night? We will never know. Theory 6, human attack. Were they attacked by locals? Escaped prisoners? Hunters? Unlikely. There were no footprints other than the hikers. No signs of fighting. No sift. Nothing missing. 9 Healthy, trained adults would not run from a single attacker. And if there were multiple attackers, where are their tracks? This theory collapses under simple logic. Theory 7, paranormal phenomena. Some believe the area itself holds a curse. Strange lights, sudden weather changes, a feeling of being watched. But paranormal theories, while fascinating, do not provide evidence. They only fill the silence left by the unknown. And Dyatlov Pass has a lot of silence. Theory 8, the ravine trap. The last 4 hikers may have constructed a snow den, a shelter, that collapsed on them, causing blunt trauma. But seasoned mountaineers know how to build a safe snow shelter. The injuries were far too severe. And again, no external wounds. The mystery deepens. Theory 9, something they saw. The most chilling theory isn't about what they felt, but about what they witnessed. If they saw lights falling from the sky, if they heard explosions echoing through the mountains, if the very air trembled, what would you do? Would you sit in a tent, or would you run? This theory is impossible to prove, and impossible to dismiss. Scene 7, the missing hours. The most frightening aspect of this case is the timeline. Something drove 9 hikers into a fatal panic. Something forced them to slice open their tent instead of unzipping it. Something made them abandon survival instinct. Hypothermia can cause confusion, true, but the decision to leave the tent came before they were exposed to the cold. They were lucid when they fled. They were terrified before they were freezing. What happened in those missing minutes? A sound, a shockwave, a bright light, a vibration, a sudden pressure, a threat, or something we have not yet imagined. The mountain keeps its secrets buried in ice. Scene 8, symbols, signs, and strange details. Let's examine the details investigators rarely mention. Point 1. Dubinina bit off a piece of her own tongue before she died. This suggests extreme agony. Point 2. Zolotaryov was found smiling. A frozen smile in death. Point 3. Some of the hikers' clothing was mismatched. They shared garments, suggesting they were dressing each other in the dark. Point 4. Radioactive clothing. No explanation. Not from lanterns, not from soil, not from film. Point 5. Orange skin and gray hair were noted during the funeral. Chemical exposure? Cold-induced? Or something else? 6. The tent was pitched perfectly. They were fully functional moments before disaster struck. Point 7. No diaries or notes describing fear, no indication they suspected anything. Not until the final moment. Whatever happened was sudden. Imagine the scene. The hikers sit in their tent, wind howling like a living thing, snow tapping the canvas, breath fogging the air. Then, something changes. A sound, a light, a vibration in the ground, a pressure in the air, a presence. They freeze. Look at each other, and no one speaks. Then, panic. They grab knives, slash the tent, run into the night, barefoot, half-dressed, eyes wide, with terror. This is the only moment we know for certain, the moment 9 people chose the impossible. What they ran from remains invisible. The 4 hikers who lived longest endured something the human body struggles to understand. Their ribs crushed inward, their skulls shattered without exterior impact, their bones broken as if compressed by enormous force. Forensic experts compared their injuries to victims of a car crash or an explosion. But there was no explosion, and there were no vehicles. Just snow, wind, darkness, and silence. The silence of something enormous passing through the night. The Soviet investigation ended quickly. Too quickly. Documents were sealed, details redacted, witnesses silenced. The final statement was insultingly vague. The hikers died due to a compelling natural force. No elaboration, no explanation, no accountability. The case was buried beneath bureaucracy. The mountain was closed for 3 years. People whispered. Soldiers patrolled. Scientists avoided the area. Something happened there. Something that frightened even the government. In 2019, Russia reopened the case. The conclusion? A slab avalanche. A safe answer. A politically convenient one. Yet professional mountaineers, physicists, and forensic experts have all pointed out flaws in this explanation. The avalanche theory might explain the tent evacuation barely, but it explains nothing else. Not the injuries, not the radiation, not the missing tongue, not the organized behavior of the group, not the lights in the sky. Modern scientists are still divided. Researchers return to the site every year, and every year the mountain gives nothing back. No evidence, no clarity, no truth. Only cold wind. The mountain is now called Dyatlov Pass, named after the group's leader. Hikers travel there to honor the fallen. Some leave flowers, some leave photographs, some leave questions. Tour guides warn visitors not to wander at night. Not because of animals, not because of cold, but because the mountain still feels wrong. People report strange lights in the sky, sudden silence, a sense of being watched. Even today, seasoned mountaineers describe an overwhelming feeling, a pressure in the air, like a storm that never arrives. As if the mountain remembers, as if it waits. In the end, the Dyatlov Pass Incident stands as one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. 9 hikers entered the mountain. 9 stories ended. But the truth never emerged. We can theorize, we can analyze, we can speculate. But only the wind knows what happened that night. Only the snow saw their final steps. Only the mountain heard their screams. The Dyatlov Pass Incident is more than an unsolved case. It is a reminder that the world still holds secrets, that nature can be cruel, that fear can be silent, and that some places do not want to be understood. The 9 hikers walked into the unknown, and whatever met them there still watches from the shadows of Kholat Syakhl, the mountain of the dead, where echoes never fade, where answers never come, and where the wind whispers a truth we may never be ready to hear. This is the mystery of Dyatlov Pass. Unsolved, unbroken, unforgotten.